go live on just YouTube alone. I'm gonna pull my trading view back up. I still don't even think trading view is going to be working. There we go. Now it's working. So I guess it just, maybe it was just too much computing power or something being used. I don't really know. Right? I really do not know. But actually, I'm going to log into my trade locker really fast. I'm going to log into trade locker. So let me log in really quick. Then we can get back to looking at these charts, see if we can find something on the charts to take, right? All right, so I just got logged into my trade locker, you guys. Now I'm going to be switching back and forth. So like I said, we did get our first presented fair value gap. It looks like the market had a little bounce from that first presented fair value gap, and then now we're continuing to the downside. So I'm thinking about maybe taking a sell. I really don't want to get faked out too early. Right there. Because it's looking like there's a lot of fake outs, right? But if I was to take a sell, I would want to put my stop loss like maybe up here and then try to target some of these lows. Wow, now it's really going super fast now. So I'm going to try at least one sell right here. I'm going to try at least one sell. Hopefully I'm not getting in at the absolute bottom because we did just sweep some lows right there. I do know that this market could still go back up. All right, but my whole thought process is that like we bounced off of that first presented fair value gap, right? That's right here. Let me zoom in. Right, we bounced off of this first presented fair value gap right there, and then we broke below it, right? So I'm looking for a continuation to the downside. This isn't really my favorite type of setup, but I do feel like this is a pretty good setup. I'm only taking one entry so far. You know, we are up a little bit, right? Some small profits. And nothing to really make me overly excited. I will have to go into the 1 hour time frame just to make sure I got a good, you know, take profit area. I think I got a pretty good take profit area. But let me see. I'm going back to the 1 minute. I don't really like this trade that much. But I want to see if I can move my stop losses to profits as soon as possible. That would definitely make me feel a lot better. It should continue to the downside, but anything can happen. I do think it could go up there and sweep liquidity one more time. So I just want to be extra safe on this trade. So like right here, I'm moving my stop into break even right there. I just want to be extra safe on this trade, y'all. So we're getting some continuation. Let me see if I could move my stop down just a little bit more. Oh man, as soon as I wanted to move my stop, gosh, it's gonna stop me out. Okay, at least let me lock in $100 on this trade. That's all I want, is at least $100. So I'm gonna move my stop right there for 90. just because I'm not overly, excited about this trade. It is a pretty good trade. I do believe that it's a good one, but I don't feel like I had the best entry on that trade, right? So I'm going to switch back to trading view, and then we're going to see what happens with this trade, right? If it keeps going without me, obviously I'm going to be a little bit sad about that, but I do feel like my entry was not that good. And then also, if we look back at the 1 hour chart, all right, if we look back at the 1 hour chart, we're sweeping this low right here on the hourly, right? We're sweeping this low. So I didn't really want to hold too long because we could easily sweep that low and then come all the way back up here and then sweep this high, right? Because we failed to get into this fair value gap. Now, this fair value gap up here, we did the same thing, right? We didn't get into this fair value gap up here, which means what? This is some good price action going to the downside for a breakaway gap. But this gap up here, in my opinion, we should have at least went up there, right? So now look at what's happening, right? We just swept this low. Instantly, we're starting to reject. So that's why I didn't really, want to hold that sell for too long because I knew I had a bad entry and, we could go right back up there and sweep liquidity, right? Or at the bare minimum, we at least want to see some type of range get created on a 1 minute time frame. And then, so we have that green box right there on my chart. This is our first presented fair value gap on the day, right? So we at least want to see a retest to that first presented fair value gap, which is inside of a premium zone, or we at least need to see a retest back up inside of this gap, right? On the 1 minute time frame, this gap right here, right? So that would be like, if I was looking for a sell, which I am looking for a sell, that would be more of a better entry than the entry that I had the first time. Was definitely super sketchy. Um, I was trying to chase price, thinking that maybe it could just keep going, but you guys seen in real time, I moved my stop loss really quick for a reason because I pretty much already knew that that was going to be a bad entry, right? So from here, I just really want to be patient. Yo, what's up? Yo, thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro. I really do appreciate that, man. It happens, bro. We all take bad entries sometimes. Like most of the time when I take a bad entry, I know it's a bad entry. As you guys can see, I still wanted to at least make $90 in profit. Most of the time, the best thing to do is just close the trade, right? That's the best thing to do. So, this is my prep firm account. I just started this one yesterday. You guys know I was coming off of a long break. So far we have only lost one trade on this account, right? And we're up about um where's our balance, right? We're up about 2%. How do you find the balance on these? Okay, there we go. We up about 2% on this account, right? So I'm trying to go ahead and get this account funded. What's up, Melissa, Naomi? I know you catching something. So right here we got a breakaway gap on a 5 minute as well. If the market continue to collapse, I may be tempted to get right back in, put my stop loss on at the top of that breakaway gap, like that right there, and then try to follow this down for at least a 2-to-1, right? Super tempting. I would have preferred a pullback because I don't want to think that the market is going to keep going, and then as soon as I get in for a sale, it just keeps going. It just reverses, and I could have had a better entry, right? So I'm trying to be really patient. I feel like they're trying to fake me out and make me believe that it's ready to really fly off. But all of these little pullbacks is very concerning for me, right? I'm gonna check the 1 hour time frame as well. Let me clean this. So look at this. It's somewhat of a pullback. On a 5 minute time frame, if it would have if we could have got a fair value gap, I mean, I'm sorry, not a fair value gap, but if we could have gotten a order block, like this order block right there, if we could have got that right there, then I would have been way more trusting. I would have probably already got into the trade. But we really want to be patient, right? Understand liquidity. We know we have a little bit of a swing high, right there. We got that swing high right there. We know that's a high chance that they're going to at least bare minimum take that swing high. So that's why I didn't jump into that sell right away. Just trying to really practice some patience right now. A little bit of a reversal kind of makes me want to, see if I could buy it up, but it's really not worth it. I feel like that's counter trend. I really don't want to be counter trend right now. But I do think if we do continue to go up, maybe it could be worth it, but it's really hard to know. I just don't want to trust taking a buy right now. It's just I just couldn't live with myself taking the loss on a buy. If I lose trying to sell, I can live with myself, but lose trying to buy, can't do it. I really don't like how all of a sudden it's just not really moving it as much. So typically when that happens, that's letting me know oh, even though we do have some breakaway gaps that was up top, the market isn't really behaving as if it has those breakaway gaps. So I'm just gonna be patient. There's no reason to try to force anything. I really want to take a buy because I do think we could get back up there, but like I said, I just can't. It's something about a buy right now. I just don't know if I can trust it. All right, fuck it. Let me try it. Let me just believe in myself. If we try to take a buy, don't really like it. But let's see. Maybe I can at least move my stop loss into profits really fast if it keeps going. Let's see. trying to take this buy. See if we can actually get some momentum going to the upside. If we get some really good momentum and I hit TP, I'll probably just take this trade and be done for the day. Not really try to force it and do too much. I'm just taking one entry, something super small. I'm only risking about $300 on this trade. It's 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. I don't really like it because it's counter trend, but I'm just trying it out anyways because I do feel like we swept that low on the 1 hour chart. I do think maybe we could at least get some momentum. I don't know if we're going to go to where my take profit is at, but I do feel like we could get some momentum at least into like these gaps up here. All right, and then I got my stop loss at break even. As soon as we go up, I want to move my stop loss into profits. So if we go up at all, look like we might be stopping me out, but I'm not really too worried. As I showed you guys earlier, I've only lost about one trade on this account so far. I just grabbed this account yesterday, so we're up about 2% in this account, as you guys can see in our phase one. So not really trying to risk too much. Definitely waiting for more information. So I don't really like how it's just moving so slow to the upside. So as soon as I can get a chance to move my stop loss into break even, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I don't really like this trade as much. It's not really moving the way I want it to move. So I'm going to protect my account. So right there, bam, I got stopped out. So I just moved my stop for break even. I took a small loss on that trade. Let me see. Oh, I guess I took a small win. So far I made $837 on that trade. And then the trade from earlier I made $76. So price is still going up, but I just can't live with the buys right now, man. Something about the buys don't really make me feel all the way comfortable. So I'm gonna be seeing if we can get inside of this gap right here and respect it, then I may end up taking a sell, but I could have probably held that buy for a little bit longer. I just didn't like the way it was moving. It's moving a little bit too slow for me. Make sure you guys, if you guys trade with prop firms, make sure you guys go check out my creator code, which is code trucking. If you guys are using Lucid, if you guys are using Alpha Capital, Hola Prime, E8 Markets, make sure you guys go check out I don't really have the links in my descriptions right now, but you guys can go on any of my other videos and check out the links in my description. Or you guys can just use code trucking if you guys use prop firms, you want to support the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Like even now, if I was still in that buy, I wouldn't want to be holding it for too long. Like, it's just moving so slow. It's moving a little bit better now, but it's still moving pretty slow. But yeah, I'm a little bit mad that I sold so early. I mean, what was my entry price? I was in at 0.57. So I would have been up about 50 points on that trade. You know, it sucks a little bit, but not really too much. I'm not really worried about it that much. So this is where I feel like we should be able to get some type of sell, like some type of, push to the downside for a sell. But one thing I don't like to do is like sell when the market is going up so aggressively. I want to at least wait, give it some time, make sure that it's actually respecting that fair value gap. Actually, what? I'm gonna take at least one entry, or I can at least take one entry. But before I really, add too much risk on these trades, I like to really wait and see. So for this first entry, I'm risking about, where's the information on this? Where's the information? I don't really know how to work this, but I think I'm risking about 4 or 5. Oh wait, it's right up here. I'm tripping. So I'm risking about 480. So we're going to see how everything is working. And the reason why I said, like, from earlier, like, this market is a bit confusing because, like, on the 1 hour chart, we could easily go all the way up here and sweep this swing high that was made up here. And then, we can go into that gap right there, and then maybe we can sell from that gap, or we can finally go below and hit into this 1 hour fair value gap. And then later on in the day, maybe we want to, later on in the day, maybe we go up there and sweep that low. I mean, I'm sorry, that swing high. I don't really know what the market is going to do. That's why, like, I took a buy. I done already took it, taking a buy and a sell, right? So that's already showing me that it's a little bit of a confusing day, right? But I'm risking about 480 on this trade to make about 1,500 pretty much. So that's like a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. If this trade hits, that would be really nice. But because it's a confusing day, all of my trades, right, I'm going to be looking to move my stop loss into break even like as soon as possible. And it sucks because I might continue to get stopped out, and but I have to be very protective on days like this. I'd rather have a break even day or even a small loss day than to have days where I'm getting stopped out for everything. So, like, right there, if this market is going to continue to drop, I would prefer it to just continue to drop. Don't go back up there and have to stop me out, right? Because if it goes back up there and stop me out, then that's okay. I'm not going to want to be in anyways. So I'm going to move my stop loss down to at least, $50, $76. I'm going to move it right there. I know I'm moving my stops really fast, but bam, I just got stopped out again, right? So overall, I'm moving my stop losses really fast, but I'm still up on the day, right? I'm still up $123. So, it's just a lot of confusion. You know, when I took that buy earlier, that buy is probably the right move because of what I said from earlier, which is that when that market opened and it spiked up. Most of the time, if you see something like this, right, the market opened and it spike up, but it fails to get inside of that 1 hour gap right there, right? It failed to get inside of this 1 hour gap right there. Most of the time, it's going to use this as liquidity, right, and go back up there and sweep this liquidity before it continues to the downside, right? So that's why I was taking a buy earlier, but now I'm almost 100% certain that buys are the actual move, right? Um, Still doesn't make it super easy to buy. Like, right now, we'll have to pretty much chase prices moving up pretty fast. and then I will only be going for a 1-to-1, risk to reward ratio. So I'm not really going to chase that. I'm not really going because it can still fake out, right? It can still act like it was going up, and then respect these gaps on a 1 minute time frame, right? It can respect this gap on the 1 minute time frame, respect this order block, and still come back down, right? So that's what makes today a little bit confusing for me. Just have to really wait and see what's going to happen. It's pretty much in the middle of the range, and whenever it's in the middle of the range, that makes it really confusing. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Right, so on the hourly, well, it's not really in the middle of the range, but it's in the lower part of the range, which makes it a lot harder to sell as well, right? Because if you're looking at this range from swing high to swing low, you want to be selling at a premium price, which is like above the 50% level. So that it's a confusing day to say the least, right? Yesterday was super easy. I took one trade, made about 4,000, right? I can show you guys those trades yesterday. I just got this account yesterday too, you guys, because I was taking a break, right? So right there, I had about 5 different entries, right? Because I like to break my entries apart. You guys know at Alpha Capital, you have to take entries every 2 minutes, right? Every 2 minutes, that's when you could take another entry. So that used to bother me with Alpha Capital, but it really don't bother me anymore because it gives me time to I can take an entry, see what the market is doing, and then take another entry instead of just going all in and having my full risk on a trade. And then if it don't play out, I just end up taking the full loss. I can go in with partial entries, see what the market is doing. If it's doing what I want it to do, I can add to the trade. Or if it stopped me out, I take a partial, I take a smaller loss, right? So that's pretty much what I've been trying to do. Y'all know I've been on break. I haven't had any accounts. The market was whooping my ass, so I had to take a break. And I've been losing money. I haven't had a payout all year. Well, we're looking to change that, you guys. So far it's looking like it's going to respect this level. It's looking like it may want to respect this level, y'all, for a sale. All right, I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about on TradingView. So right there, this gap that we went into on TradingView, right? This gap right here. You guys can see the market went into there, respected that. Now the only thing we will be looking for is to break below this first presented fair value gap, some type of a retest, and then keep going to the downside, right? I think that could be the move. And then we can use this range right here for a take profit area. And maybe target, one of these green lines right here, right? So target maybe the midpoint of that 1 hour fair value gap, right? So I'm going to actually get ready to try a sale right there. Like I said, I'm not going to keep trying either. It's already almost 10:30. So if this market can't make a decision, I'm just going to, call it a day. I'm not going to really try to force it. Let me plug my iPod in. All right, now my trade locker don't want to work, so let me close my trade locker and open that back up. Hopefully it works. I'm in Kansas, y'all, so the connection is horrible out here. It keeps rejecting from the daily fair value gap. Let me see. I gotta go see what you're talking about. Yeah, I wouldn't really be worried about this fair value gap because it haven't really made a range, a swing high on a daily. So that fair value gap isn't really valid for me, right? So you can't really even use that because there's no range. Now my signal is moving extra slow. Like, come on, man. see. I'm trying to get back up in there. The only thing I don't like for a sell, y'all, is this gap right here. I would like the market to at least break through that gap or touch that gap one time. Let me know that that gap is not going to want to hold up. So let me get in right here. Get in with one entry. It looks like it's ready to slide on down. So let me get in with at least one entry. Taking the sell. This is my third trade on the day. Wait, no, this is my third trade on the day. So far, I'm 3 for 3, but just all small profits. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a drop off. Up about almost 20 points so far. 20 points is not that bad, but I want a little bit more. Hopefully, it doesn't have to keep on doing the back and forth. Can give me some profits, but I am going to be looking to move my stop into break even. But I'm gonna give it a little bit more time this time around. But I really want it to continue to the downside right here. I really want it to continue to drop. If it could drop with some speed, that would be nice. I only have one entry on this thing, so if this thing give me a good profit, I'm more than likely going to be done for the day. I don't really like to trade past 11 anyway, so it's already almost 10:30. So I want to add to this trade. I don't want to get greedy because I'm not overly in love with this trade. Do look really clean, but I needed it to keep going down. I might not even add. It's probably best that I don't add. So instead of adding, just gonna move my stop loss into profit. We're gonna lock in at least 135 on this trade. Okay, so we're currently up about $400. All right, doing pretty good on this trade right here. We're all the way locked in on the profits. All we got to do now is trail one more time. All right, so I'm getting ready to trail and at least lock in $400 on this trade right here. I just wanted to at least break this swing low right there. Bam, broke it. Now I'm going to move. I'm probably moving it a little bit too fast, maybe even a little bit too high. But at this point, I just want to, I did something right. I made a good trade. I just want to lock something in. Right? Because once it sweeps a swing low like this, you never know what's going to happen, right? It could sweep that swing low and then go all the way back up, right? So I don't want to get too greedy. Don't want to get too fancy, you guys. So boom, bam, thank you, ma'am. Nothing too crazy. We made 529 on the day, you guys. 529 on the day, right? Nothing too fancy. We took all winners, right? All winners. Even when we made the wrong trade, we trailed our stop into profits. And it's just that simple, you guys. I had this. This is my second day on this account, and I've only lost one trade. Right, not trying to brag. It's not going to always be like that, but just trying to show people that hey, this is possible. Prop firm trading is possible. Trading in general is possible. And look, it's still going without me. So I definitely did trail a little bit too fast. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not mad about getting out of that trade at all. You know, I'm not in love with this price action. I found a quick little trade, and that's all you need. You know, if you can make $500 in one day, that's all you really need. You don't have to really try to get too fancy and take a million trades a day, right? So that's going to be the live. That's going to be the live for me, you guys. Probably, you know, try to tap back in later on this week, you guys. Make sure to check out those links in the description below. If you guys want to support my channel, make sure to use code trucking. With Lucid Funding, E8 Markets, Alpha Capital, Hola Prime. You guys go check out all of those prop firms and support the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one, man. Peace out.